Could a secret that has been buried for years finally come to light? In a jaw-dropping twist, JAYZ has reportedly stepped forward with shocking claims about Diddy's alleged role in the untimely death of Kim Porter. The case, which had been closed for years, has now been reopened, and the revelations are shaking Hollywood to its core. Why would JAYZ, once a close ally of Diddy, make such explosive accusations? What exactly did he tell the feds, and how could it change everything we thought we knew about Kim Porter's tragic passing? This isn't just another celebrity feud, it's a story of alleged betrayal, power, and secrets that could redefine the legacies of two of music's biggest icons. As the details unravel, the implications go beyond the courtroom, shedding light on the darker side of fame and influence. Stay with us as we break down the startling testimony, the evidence that led to the case being reopened, and the rippling effects on both Diddy and JAYZ's careers. This is a story of seismic proportions, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why the world is watching so closely. Trust us, you won't want to miss a second of this.
An emotional weekend for Sean Diddy Combs. We reported on this last week, and over the weekend, his former love, Kim Porter, was laid to rest in her hometown in Columbus, Georgia. A ceremony on Saturday was attended by hundreds of Kim's family and friends, including many celebrities who gathered. Joining me now is ET's Darla Murray from our New York news desk to kind of talk us through all this, because Darla, so many people were at this funeral. I was actually reading maybe even thousands of people had shown up to pay their respects to Kim. I believe we have a photo of Diddy there. So this was at the Evergreen Memorial Garden Cemetery in Columbus, Georgia on Saturday. And as we had told you guys previously, there he is. There's Diddy. There, surrounded by flowers, of course, in a tux. He spoke at the funeral, and Kim passed on November 15th. She was just 47 years old. So, Darla, what do we know about Diddy at this funeral? Because we have the picture of him here. Again, we're hearing that he spoke. What details do we have about what he said?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Lauren. Actually, what you're looking at there was apparently Diddy took quite a long time by himself to sit with her grave, surrounded by the flowers, just, clearly in deep thought. I mean, who knows what he was thinking, but it was a pretty upsetting scene. He did speak at the service, as did Quincy Brown, Kim's son.
The startling testimony, JAYZ takes the stand. The courtroom was stunned as JAYZ delivered a testimony that could change the trajectory of the case against Diddy. Known for his careful approach to public matters, JAYZ's decision to testify caught many off guard, signaling the gravity of his revelations. His testimony centered on alleged events that implicated Diddy in Kim Porter's tragic death. JAYZ provided detailed accounts, including specific incidents that painted a picture of betrayal and manipulation. His statements included direct accusations that Diddy's actions may have contributed to Porter's untimely passing. These claims added weight to the case and sparked renewed media interest in the trial.
Kim's lost words has created quite the stir since it was self-published. Now, it's Amazon's bestseller. The memoir includes shocking claims that Diddy allegedly slept with Al B. Sure, as well as JAYZ, Will Smith, Clive Davis, Mary J. Blige, Faith Evans, and Jamie Foxx. Now, it also alleges that the disgraced musician Sean Diddy Combs made sexual advances toward Tupac, and that Kim Porter found tapes of Diddy's sexual encounters and confronted him about it. Now, despite Al, Diddy, and Porter's kids and others close to Porter publicly saying that the memoirs are not true, and the book has still become a bestseller, fueling the current media cycle surrounding Diddy and various conspiracy theories regarding his alleged crimes.
The reactions in court were intense. Diddy's legal team was visibly shaken, scrambling to counter JAYZ's explosive statements. Observers noted how JAYZ's testimony shifted the mood in the courtroom, with murmurs rippling through the attendees. His involvement underscored the high stakes of this trial, marking a critical turning point that could redefine both men's legacies. Kim Porter's tragic death, revisiting the case. Kim Porter's death in 2018 shocked the world. Officially ruled as pneumonia with complications from cardiac arrest, the circumstances surrounding her passing left many unanswered questions. Friends and fans speculated about inconsistencies in the narrative, prompting calls for a deeper, Investigation. Initial investigations revealed little, but new evidence has reignited interest. Allegations tying Diddy to Porter's death suggest foul play, with claims that actions or decisions made by the music mogul played a role in her untimely demise. These allegations have cast a shadow over Diddy's public image.
There's just been a shocking revelation from federal authorities regarding a highly private and scandalous video involving none other than Jay-Z and Beyonce, reportedly taken during a wild party hosted by Diddy. Apparently during a Homeland Security raid on Diddy's properties, some rather intriguing discoveries were made, including compromising footage featuring numerous beloved celebrities caught in scandalous situations. Speculation is rife that Diddy intentionally leaked this footage to authorities as a form of revenge against the Carters, allegedly due to their perceived lack of support during his legal battles. It seems he's on a mission to embarrass them at any cost. Adding fuel to the fire, an unsettling audio clip allegedly featuring Meek Mill and Diddy has surfaced, courtesy of Diddy's former bodyguard.
For Porter's family, the pain is immeasurable. Her children and loved ones have endured years of grief compounded by lingering questions about what really happened. The reopening of the case offers a glimmer of hope for answers and justice, but it also reopens old wounds, putting her family back in the public spotlight. Jay-Z and Diddy's relationship, friends turned foes. The relationship between Jay-Z and Diddy is one of the most intriguing narratives in hip-hop and entertainment history. These two titans of the industry were once seen as allies, often pictured together at lavish parties, collaborating on business ventures, and publicly supporting each other's careers. For years, they symbolized the unity and power of hip-hop moguls taking the music industry to unprecedented heights. However, beneath this veneer of camaraderie lay subtle tensions and a growing rivalry that has now erupted into the public eye.
JZ ain't answering the phone? He ain't answering the motherfucking phone.
Signs of strain between Jay-Z and Diddy began to surface over time, often veiled in cryptic comments during interviews or strategic business decisions that seemingly placed them at odds. As their individual empires expanded, competition for dominance in music, fashion, and media further complicated their dynamic. Insiders suggest that disagreements over partnerships and overlapping ambitions gradually eroded the bond they once shared. Additionally, whispers of personal betrayals and clashing egos added fuel to the fire, leaving their friendship increasingly frayed. What was once a collaborative relationship slowly morphed into a quiet rivalry, with each man carving out his own space in an industry not big enough for both to reign supreme.
You know, I spoke to Al a couple of times, and he texted me a couple of times too. I think knowing the history of them two, if he did increase his security, he have every right to. And I believe that Al knows that Puff has some powerful people, or had some powerful people around him, and some people doing some things for him that could danger his life. His life could be in danger. I don't think nobody would be paying for some security if they didn't think their life was in danger. So I could see Al doing that. I understand why Al is doing that. And I just wish them all the luck. You got to realize, man, Kim's death wasn't even investigated, bro. Her death wasn't even investigated. And it should have been a proper investigation so all the family members can feel like that.
Jay-Z's recent decision to testify against Diddy marks a dramatic turning point in their already strained relationship. While the motivations behind his actions remain speculative, several possibilities have been floated. Some believe that Jay-Z's testimony is driven by a moral obligation to expose wrongdoing, while others see it as a calculated move stemming from years of unresolved grievances. There's also the possibility that his decision is a combination of both, a desire to protect his legacy while distancing himself from Diddy's mounting controversies. Regardless of the intent, Jay-Z's involvement has added a layer of intrigue to the case, positioning him as a pivotal figure in the unfolding drama. This testimony could redefine not only their relationship, but also how the public perceives their legacies in a rapidly changing industry.
And it's in the this is in the documentation. Shout out to Paperwork. At the Paperwork part, I gotta shout him out, man, because he looked in the paperwork and it said Kim received a massage.
Evidence presented in court. The trial has brought forth a treasure trove of evidence, offering a detailed and unsettling narrative. Documents, emails, and recordings have emerged, weaving a timeline that appears to support allegations against Diddy. These materials don't just point to moments of tension, they suggest a calculated pattern of behavior that could connect him to the tragic events surrounding Kim Porter's death. Financial records, encrypted communications, and personal memos further enrich this complex web, hinting at motivations and actions that paint Diddy in a damning light. Witness testimonies have proven pivotal in shaping the court's understanding of the events. Alongside JAYZ, other individuals, ranging from former employees to close associates, have taken the stand to share what they know. These witnesses have provided corroborating accounts that align with the evidence, adding layers of credibility to the prosecution's case. Some accounts describe an atmosphere of fear and control, where Porter allegedly expressed concerns about her safety in the days leading up to her death. These testimonies don't just bolster the prosecution's argument, they provide emotional weight, turning abstract allegations into vivid personal accounts of a tragedy that has left a permanent scar on those involved.
Diddy's ex, Kim Porter, is found dead at 47.
Unit 76, rescue 82, cardiac arrest.
How many times did you personally witness him be violent?
Around 4 or 5 times. I seen him inside the car, grab her up. I seen him smack her. Kim got to the point where she fought back.
Then you hear about the fact that he broke Kim's nose? Cassie's story is Kim's story.
So many things were tampered with. Oh my God, her phone was hijacked. She had a second phone, by the way, and nobody got that phone. The ritualized sexual abuse of minors, that is what she hooked into. That is what she found out.
Kim Porter was working on a book before she died.
She was not sheltered and she was not naive to whom she had children with.
They took blood out of her body, ran tests, that's what it looks like to me, y'all tell me, and they found 4 different types of bacteria.
Yet, significant gaps in the evidence remain. Despite the compelling nature of the materials presented, questions about intent and direct causation linger. Was Porter's death the result of a premeditated plan, or was it an outcome of other underlying circumstances? The lack of a proverbial smoking gun has left room for doubt, which the defense has been quick to exploit. The prosecution's challenge lies in connecting the dots to create an airtight narrative. These ambiguities make the case as contentious as it is captivating, leaving the courtroom and the public grappling with the complexities of truth, justice, and accountability in the face of tragedy.
Did I say that right? P. Diddy. P. Diddy. I'm sorry, I'm just fucking saying it. I don't know why. Anyway, she had 3 manuscripts and she gave them to 3 separate people. Somebody you wouldn't even suspect. Somebody outside of her friend group, somebody entirely different. She had a very close-knit circle of friends and a particular type of friends. So she hung around particular people. She was very specific in her choice of people that she allowed in her circle, okay? Very, very, very controlled about that.
Diddy's defense strategy, fighting back. Diddy's legal team has mounted a vigorous defense, aiming to discredit witnesses and undermine the prosecution's case. They argue that the allegations lack concrete evidence and hinge on circumstantial connections. A key element of their strategy is questioning JAYZ's motives. By framing his testimony as biased or self-serving, Diddy's team hopes to cast doubt on its reliability. This tactic has sparked debates about the credibility of high-profile witnesses in such cases. Publicly, Diddy has maintained his innocence. Through statements from his representatives, he's emphasized his commitment to proving the allegations false. However, the mounting pressure from media scrutiny and public backlash presents an uphill battle for his defense. Media frenzy, public and industry reactions. The case has dominated headlines, with media outlets dissecting every development. Social media platforms are ablaze with hashtags, memes, and debates, reflecting a deep divide among fans and critics. The public's fascination with the case has elevated it to a cultural phenomenon. Celebrities have weighed in either through direct statements or cryptic social media posts. Some have expressed support for Jay-Z's courage, while others have defended Diddy or chosen to remain silent. This polarization highlights the sensitive nature of the case and its impact on industry alliances.
You personally, right? What do you think happened to Kim Porter?
If I say something personal, bro, and my belief, and I put it on to the public, then I might be liable. You understand what I'm saying? I might be liable for what I say. So I just can't say that, yo, I don't really want to say what I really believe, brother. Because, you know, what I really believe is that they might got into a little spat, a little fight, or something went down, and Puff did that play fighting stuff that he always do, and that pillow fighting stuff, and probably smothered her. But I wouldn't say that on the air. I wouldn't let people know that he probably smothered her to death, and because she had a bad cold or she felt some kind of way that she died doing them having that play fight with the pillow fights and everything and smothered her. But I'm not going to say nothing like that on the program because I don't want to get myself in trouble. As far as saying that with him and say, oh, he said this and he said that. Nah, I'm just being facetious. I'm just being sarcastic.
Mainstream coverage has shaped the narrative, framing the trial as a battle of titans. The attention has amplified calls for accountability and transparency, turning this case into a flashpoint for discussions about power and justice in the entertainment world. The role of Kim Porter's death tapes. The alleged death tapes have added a new dimension to the case. These recordings reportedly contain conversations or evidence that challenge the official narrative of Porter's death. Their content has sparked intense speculation and raised the stakes of the trial. The tape's origin is shrouded in mystery, with questions about who leaked them and why. Their introduction as evidence has strengthened the prosecution's case, aligning with Jay-Z's testimony and other presented materials.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet.
If verified, these tapes could be a game changer. They provide tangible proof that could sway the court's decision and shed light on previously hidden aspects of Porter's death. However, their validity and context remain critical points of contention. Power and influence in Hollywood. This case underscores the challenges of holding powerful figures accountable. The entertainment industry's culture of secrecy, bolstered by NDAs and influence, often shields celebrities from scrutiny. Diddy's case is emblematic of a broader issue: how fame and power can enable exploitation and silence victims. Advocacy groups have seized this moment to push for systemic changes that prioritize transparency and justice.
This morning, embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs will remain behind bars on charges that include sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy after a second judge overseeing his federal criminal case denied him bond once again.
The fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot.
Outside the New York City courthouse, his lawyer defiant.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
The judge ruling the bail package presented by Combs' lawyer was insufficient, siding with prosecutors who called Combs a threat to society, adding there is no condition that would assure that the rapper would not obstruct justice. A major topic of discussion ahead of the ruling, this troubled 2016 video that shows Combs brutally beating his then-girlfriend, singer Cassie, who prosecutors say was attempting to escape from one of Combs' so-called freak-offs, elaborated coerced sex parties that he often recorded.
We are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. I want to show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us, like literally in the last 90 seconds. This is Combs in court after prosecutors arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to what a person familiar with the move tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him and what looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their words, freak-offs that Combs supposedly orchestrated to abuse his victims.
Past patterns of behavior among Hollywood elites highlight the need for reform. As this trial unfolds, it serves as a reminder of the urgent need to address power dynamics and create a more equitable industry. For Diddy and JAYZ, the fallout from this trial is reshaping the worlds of Diddy and JAYZ in profound ways. For Diddy, the allegations surrounding Kim Porter's death are more than just legal troubles. They are an existential threat to his career and public image. His lucrative business ventures, from music to fashion and spirits, are at risk as brands and corporate partners reevaluate their associations with him. The man once celebrated as a visionary mogul is now under intense scrutiny, with fans and collaborators questioning the legacy he worked decades to build. The whispers of doubt have turned into a full-blown reckoning that could permanently alter his standing in the entertainment world.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them.
Prosecutors say Combs punched and kicked his victims to try to keep them under control. He'd also, they say, filled them up with drugs like ketamine and ecstasy for long periods of times, even using incriminating records to try to manipulate his victims. Prosecutors say they discovered this wide range of evidence against Combs in several raids. They found things, they say, like AR-15s, narcotics, more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricants.
His decision to testify against Diddy has created ripples of its own. While some view his actions as brave and necessary, others see them as potentially self-serving or reflective of deeper personal grievances. His testimony has garnered mixed reactions within the industry, testing relationships and creating tension among peers who may feel caught between supporting JAYZ or maintaining loyalty to Diddy. Although JAYZ has long enjoyed a reputation as a calculated and strategic player, this case exposes the vulnerabilities of even the most revered figures in the music business.
I said, everybody, come on over to the house. While it's not a crime to attend a Diddy event, several of the civil lawsuits allege sex crimes occurred during those wild parties.
I've got a lot I can't tell. Can't tell that one either.
The question now could pass attendees like Ashton Kutcher, Demi Moore, Kelly Osbourne, Justin Bieber, and Usher be potentially questioned by federal investigators.
Oh my God. I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
There were very curious things taking place.
Anyone who attended one of Diddy's parties dating back decades should be concerned. So Diddy's rich and powerful friends should make sure they have lawyers on standby as the feds may come knocking.
Over the weekend, all of Usher's posts on Twitter mysteriously disappeared, leading some to speculate it was related to Diddy. But the singer says his account was hacked. Saturday, we were with Tiffany Haddish, who played a bouncer in Diddy's 2022 Gotta Move On music video. And of course, he made a cameo in Girls Trip.
What's next in the case? The case's trajectory remains uncertain. Ongoing investigations and potential new evidence could shape its outcome. Legal experts anticipate a protracted battle as both sides prepare for the next phase of the trial. Diddy's response to the mounting pressure will be critical. Whether he chooses to settle, fight back, or make a public appeal, his actions will influence public perception and the trial's direction.
Celebrities like Paris Hilton, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kim Kardashian, and Chris Brown were among those photographed at the white parties, which ran from the years of 1990s to the 2000s. Jennifer Lopez and her management team is said to be on a high alert in case she gets dragged into any of the ongoing criminal investigations against Sean Diddy Combs, who was once, remember, her long-time boyfriend. Insiders have now claimed that the vocalist's team had discussions about whether she should make some public clarifications for being arrested with the rapper back on December 27th of 1999. And as the singer was dating Sean Diddy Combs during those days, she was taken into custody because a gun was found inside his car that they used to escape from the shooting scene. While Jennifer Lopez was let out shortly after, with cops clearing her of any involvement in the criminal activity, her romance partner and his bodyguard Anthony Wolf Jones were charged with this crime.
To get to the latest on Combs, his children speaking out overnight, and another accuser has come forward. Aaron Katersky has been tracking all this for us. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Michael. Combs and Sam Bankman-Fried are sharing a dormitory-style unit in protective custody in jail, strange bedfellows in jail. And now his children this morning are speaking out. This morning, the children of Sean Diddy Combs are speaking out for the first time since their father's arrest last week. 4 of Combs' 7 children writing on Instagram, "We have seen so many hurtful and false rumors circulating about our parents, Kim Porter and Sean Combs' relationship, as well as about our mom's tragic passing, that we feel the need to speak out. Claims that our mom wrote a book are simply untrue. She did not, and anyone claiming to have a manuscript is misrepresenting themselves. A 60-page unverified book published earlier this month claimed to be the collection of diaries of Porter, who died at the age of 47 in 2018. The children, who don't mention their father's arrest in the statement, go on to write, "Our mother should be remembered for the beautiful, strong, kind, and loving woman she was. Her memory should not be tainted by horrific conspiracy theories."
For the public and Porter's family, the hope is for closure and justice. Regardless of the verdict, this case has already sparked conversations about accountability and reform, leaving a lasting impact on the entertainment industry. What began as whispers has now turned into a roar that's echoing across Hollywood. JAYZ's testimony, the reopening of Kim Porter's case, and the accusations against Diddy have sparked a storm that's far from over. The questions are mounting. Will justice finally be served? And how will this trial reshape the legacies of 2 music legends? If you found this deep dive intriguing, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us uncover the stories that matter most. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe JAYZ's claims, or do you think there's more to the story? Thank you for watching, and as always, stay tuned for more updates on the headlines you care about. Until next time.